up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling them wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I had to do a little fixation there. I don't know what. Every time I turn my fridge off, it's I gotta turn it off because it makes so much noise. Anyway, there we go. So you get the webcam instead of the but I won't be cutting out though. You know, that's a little better. So anyway, how are we all doing today? Hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's getting through, having a wonderful Monday. Do you have a case of the Mondays? I hope not. I don't have a case of the Mondays. I don't care what fucking day it is. It don't matter to me. It does not mean a thing whatsoever. Could not care less. You know, it just matters as far as like what's open and what's not, I guess. That's about it. So, anyway, hope you all doing well. Ooh, we got a little poppy there. You know, this stuff just gets hilarious. It's funnier day by day, you know? It's just like, I for the life of me, I don't understand what's going on. And I guess maybe I'm not supposed to. But we've had all this, you know, and really, it's not really, I mean, these things are affecting us, but they're not really. I mean, what affects you day to day, you know? It's, when you look at it, really, what is it? Economics, right? I mean, that's really about it, you know? I mean, other than that, I mean, this politics bullshit, these assholes, these idiots that we've decided that, you know, that we've allowed to control us, we've basically entered into an agreement with these people. And the funny thing about an agreement is that it could be terminated at any point in time. I've decided to terminate my agreement with them. I don't want anything to do with them. They're talking about, you know, 87,000 new IRS agents, and the way that they're phrasing this is that it's for the benefit of the American people to better serve you. Oh yeah, we're going to hire 87,000 agents, and when you look at the IRS.gov page and you read through it, you got to be, you know, ready to carry a gun. Basically ready to enact violence. And that's what taxation is. Taxation is theft. Taxation is violence. Think about this, okay? Taxation might not be physical violence in the initial formation of it, right? Like, it's not physical violence. But when they lock you in a cage, guess what? That's physical violence. You know what I'm saying? They take your money from you. If you work a job, if you work for wages, do you have a say? No, you get your paycheck and it's already gone. They've already taken it from you. Where did you agree to that? You just inherently agreed to it because that's just the way it goes, right? Your parents agreed to it. You started working. You agreed to it. And there you go. And they managed to spend all the money that you make, or all the money that you give them in your life, like that. It's gone in under a fraction of a second. Do you know how much money, how far your tax money goes when we're talking about billions of dollars in these stupid fucking wars that we're involved in? We're like in 10 wars right now. We got Syria, we've got the Ukraine, you know, we're at war by proxy with Russia. We're I don't know what's going to happen here with China. It sounds like we've kind of gone back to maybe the table with them a little bit because of the nuclear power plant in Ukraine that I can't seem to get a straight answer on who's bombing it. Somebody's shelling it. Russia's occupying it, so it wouldn't make much sense that they're the ones doing it. I'm just saying, allegedly. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Nobody really knows what's going on over there. That's the crazy thing. Everybody pretends to. Everybody thinks this, that, and the other thing. And now it seems like we're getting further and further withdrawn from Zelensky and the whole thing. You know, I mean, he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of turning out to be what very few of us actually thought he was from the get-go. I've tried not to get too far into my opinion on the whole thing. It doesn't matter. I feel like spending $60-70 billion on this thing is pretty fucking stupid when we have all these problems here, when we have the borders out of control. We've got fucking monkeypox, for fuck's sake. The COVID's still going around, you know. Our fearless leader got it twice in a matter of days, you know. I think that shit messed with him. I mean, Jesus, that guy. Whew. The funny thing is, though, he's not the one. I mean, he's just getting his strings pulled. He's a sock puppet, you know. There's people putting their hand up his ass and making him talk. Just he doesn't even say what's right. He doesn't even say what he's supposed to. That's the crazy thing. He's got his note cards and his teleprompters and everything, and he gets up there and he just lays an egg. It's like, wow, okay, that's nice. My butt's been wiped. Like, oh, really? Okay, thanks, Joe. You want to sniff something? I mean, I don't know. Excuse me. A little dry. Been out cutting up stuff on the saw and this and that. Getting ready to go out on the dirt bike for a little bit. It's a nice day. I hope everybody else out there is having a lovely day, because it certainly is here. But there's some things in the headlines today that kind of caught me off, and I've brought up this Ray Epps character a number of times, and there's a New York Times article out there about him, and I find it kind of funny because this dude, and I don't get it. I do not for the life of me. Okay, so you've got these things that are going on, and they're all kind of interconnected, right? You've got the January 6th thing, then you have the raid on Trump's place at Mar-a-Lago. And I don't care what you say. They all want to say it's not a raid. It's a raid. When 30 armed agents show up, they don't allow your attorneys anywhere near what's going on. They show you a warrant from 10 feet away, and then they go in and proceed to go through like your wife's closet and your entire home, and they spend like 9 hours there over some boxes that Trump has already been in contact with them, right? He'd already talked to him about this stuff. He was working with him. He was cooperating. His attorneys were cooperating. They were just trying to figure it all out. And the feds told him, just put another lock on the door, which he did. And they busted in, and then they proceeded to take way more. So now he's demanding to have a number of these boxes returned to him. And then you've got this Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, this spineless little weasel dick. I mean, I've never seen such a puss head in my life. This guy is just absolutely, he's lying. I'm going to pull him up here, and we're going to listen to a little bit of his little thing that he came out with 4 days ago, and we haven't heard anything from him since. I mean, he just looks like a man that's defeated. He knows he's on his edge of he's going away. He needs to retire anyway. I don't know how old the guy is, but thank goodness that this guy didn't end up on the Supreme Court of the United States of America, because this dude, he is just a liar, and he has been. This is the guy that wrote the letter to all the different to the FBI. He wrote the memorandum about parents being, classified as domestic terrorists that spoke out at school board meetings. Like the guy Scott Smith, whose daughter was raped by a transgender who, they just pushed it under the rug. They shipped the kid on this boy off to another school, and he did it again. So he's going in the female restroom and he's raping people's daughters, for fuck's sake. And this father, this Scott Smith, and hey, big ups to you, Scott. I mean, you probably won't ever hear this, but, I mean, I don't even know how that would be handled on my end of things. I mean, it wouldn't be good. You know what I mean? And this guy is calling these people like that, a domestic terrorist. Come on. I mean, you know who the domestic terrorists are. Yeah. You know where they're sitting. Right there in D.C. Well, there's some of them that are on vacation all the time. I think there's one of them that's on vacation right now. He's out eating ice cream or something. I saw something, too, that old Hunty now has ties to something going on in Romania. I haven't had a chance to dive into that one yet, but, I mean, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. So I'm going to pull up this bucket head here, if I can. I'll listen to a little bit of what this nitwit has to say. It's pretty funny. It's actually pretty comical, if you can manage to keep a sense of humor about it, which you have to. You don't have a choice.
Good afternoon. Since I became Attorney General, I have made clear that the Department of Justice will speak through its court filings and its work. Just now.
Okay, so let's start there. They file a search warrant, right? They get the judge who signed the search warrant. His name is Bruce Reinhardt. Okay, he was involved in the whole thing with Epstein as a U.S. attorney in that district. Halfway through, so he was a prosecutor, right? Halfway through, he quits. He allegedly leaked information to a bunch of Epstein's people. He allegedly started helping his people. So it makes you wonder, okay? 7 weeks ago, Trump files a civil suit against what's her face, pantsuit, Kirby vacuum cleaner. What's her name? Hillary Clinton. This guy, this Bruce Reinhardt, this judge from Florida, he recuses himself because his reasoning for this is that he cannot, he's not going to be able to remain unbiased. So in the civil case between Trump and Hillary, and the fact that she paid for the Steele dossier, which a lot of you out there still think is a thing, the whole thing about the P tapes and all that, turned out to be completely false, that she paid Christopher Steele for, British intelligence. Complete farce. Adam Schiff's, turkey neck was going nuts over that. He's still, why, I don't even know why they shouldn't even allow him anywhere near a microphone, or he should be impeached, really. He should just be, they should just, whatever, get rid of him. People of California, how are you voting for this guy? Are you guys stupid? Between him and Newsom, and you guys got some real pieces of work out there. I mean, we got one here in Wyoming too, but we're going to get her out of there. Cheney's gone. She's done. Bye. But here's the deal, and I'm telling you this right now, here's what's going to happen with Liz Cheney. She's going to go, and she's going to end up being some big wig with one of the military-industrial complex, corporations, either Raytheon, Grumman, Lockheed Martin, you name it, and then she's going to become a lobbyist. So it's going to be the revolving door with her. She doesn't even live here. She doesn't even stay here in Wyoming, right? Like, she comes out here every once in a while. Harriet Hageman, she's all over the place here. I mean, she's in Cody all the time. I mean, she's all over the state. People are going to vote for her. I mean, I think that Cheney's down 30 points, and it's all by design, I believe. I think that this whole thing was set up with her so she could. I mean, I don't think she cares. I think she's pushing this agenda because, not only is she a Republican in name only, but I think that there's a bigger game, there's a bigger thing, there's a bigger plan with her. And it's going to be when Dick comes out, like Dick came out last week with his cowboy hat on and started running his neck, that you're in trouble then because somebody's going to get shot with a shotgun. Don't go hunting with Dick Cheney. He'll shoot you and then you'll have to apologize to him. I mean, that dude is straight up like he's like the devil incarnate. I mean, I don't know that there's much more evil than that dude. I mean, that dude's bad news, you know. I mean, I don't know what comes after we leave this car and go on to the next thing, but who knows? If there's any kind of justice in whatever the result is, he's going to be in some trouble. I mean, that dude is just straight up evil. You know, between him and the Bush family, I mean, God, how many millions of deaths are they responsible for? No remorse, don't care. You know, let's go kill 1 million Iraqis, doesn't matter. They're brown people, they're over there, they you know, they got a different magic man than we do. We don't even have, these guys they don't even have a magic man. They probably go out there to Bohemian Grove and sit there and partake in that whole fucking nonsense. Who knows? I mean, you know, and then you throw in the Biden family. I mean, good God. I can't wait to see what this is. I haven't looked to see what this thing is with his Romanian ties with hunters. Anyway, he got on a plane with Joey. I guess Joey's out there on vacation, huh? We got the world's falling apart. He's on vacation. I mean, you know, just get on Air Force One. The fucking people will pay for it, Joe. We'll pay for it. You know how much that thing costs when he's out there? It's ridiculous. And we're footing the bill, and they're gonna put in 87,000 new IRS agents. That's what we got coming. And they're gonna be coming after you, me. And they're gonna be armed. I think we need to be a little concerned. I would like to think that there's not 87,000 people in this country that would take that job offer up seriously. But never, ever underestimate stupid people. Stupid people, I mean, idiots are one thing, okay? Morons are another. The morons are the ones that are scary. And the morons are the ones that they're not, like an idiot is just an idiot. You know, they're just stupid because they're stupid. A moron, on the other hand, though, you got to watch out for them because they can have a little bit of clout. They can have spheres of influence, and they can cause problems, which is kind of, I guess anybody that wants to be an IRS agent, I would say that they're either, well, they're one of the two. But I was looking at a thing too, you know, I mean, to be an IRS agent, you got to be you have to have an accountant degree. And I was looking at the numbers on that the other day, and the number of students in the university that are actually enrolled in accounting programs has dropped significantly. Some places almost up to 50%. Who wants to be an accountant? You know, ugh. Sit there and do all that shit. Debits, credits, and ugh. I mean, for some people, yeah, it works. There's people, you know, there's custodians out there that love what they do. This is what it is. People have their niche, you know. Some people do, some people don't. I mean, you know, but the world does need janitors too, and I guess we need accountants. I really wish we didn't, because quite frankly, the way I see it is this is the problem. And it all comes down to financial shit. It all comes down to money. At the end of the day, it's all about money. This is the root of everybody's problems. Everybody's problems. Everybody has stress over it. Everybody stresses over money. Everybody stresses over their finances, over how they're going to pay the bills, over what they're getting paid. And then you spend your life punching a clock at a shitty cheese job so you can pay off these debts that you're never going to pay off. That's the thing, too, is that, you know, I go back and forth with this all the time with everybody, but you know the thing is that the debt's never going to be paid off. We can't. There's no way. The system, if the debt was paid off today, there's no money. There's none. There's none. And now they're going to snap their fingers and create more out of thin air. And who's it fall on? It falls on us. How many of you out there just get a direct deposit for your pay? I mean, that's a pretty normal thing anymore. I mean, I've had to do that with a lot of my clients over the years, where I submit an invoice and they just do a ACH payment instead of me even getting a check. Even getting a check is still, it's nothing. It's just a symbol. It's a monetary instrument, is what it is. I mean, that's really all paper money is too. But the sad thing is that there's only 3% of the paper money is even in existence, you know. And they are wanting to get us off of the cash as quickly as they can, so that they can watch everything. They can already, everything you do on your debit card, it's out there. They can see. I mean, when you go into the bank and set up a bank account, they want to know, like, you know, like when I first got home and had to go and set up an account, I mean, they want to know, like, when do you get paid? How much are you anticipating to get, you know, how often, when? I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I'm a contractor. I was like, sometimes I don't get paid for 60 fucking days. And sometimes I come in with a couple $1,000 checks, and sometimes I come in with a $30,000 or $40,000 check. I don't know. And I'm like, and I travel, so don't be cutting my debit card off when you see them. You know, if you see me in Atlanta one day and fucking Seattle the next, it's, you know, I mean, they want to know every little thing. You go in there and you try and get your money out. You know, I saw a guy in India, it was either yesterday or the day before. The dude had gone in to pull out the equivalent of $1,000. Now, I don't know the exchange rate between a rupee and a dollar. It was on the WION network. Goes in, they tell him no. They're not going to give him his money because India is off. Like, India's off cash. There's no cash in India. So he gets pissed. Apparently, he went and got a firearm and went back to the bank, and there was quite an uproar. I didn't see how that. Apparently, he's in custody now, I guess. You got people doing dumb shit. Don't do dumb shit, though, people. You might be upset about this whole thing with Trump and all this, but do not fall into that trap of being violent. Do not do it. There was a cat out there in Cincinnati, went in the FBI field office with a nail gun, and they said an AR-style rifle. Ends up being like a 7-hour chase and standoff, and the dude's dead. He's gone. Now, I don't know what he was doing with a nail gun. And he was driving like a sedan. I mean, typically a dude that's got a nail gun is a guy like me that's got truck and tools and is a carpenter, a contractor of some sort. I mean, he goes in there with he goes a nail gun. I don't know. I mean, we used to have fun with those, like back in the day when I was, you know, framing and stuff. I mean, the new guy would come in and he'd go in the blue room. For those who don't know what the blue room is, it's the porta potty that's on a construction site. I've spent the majority of my life having to use one of those nasty ass things. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore. But the new guy would go in and we'd stand out, you know, we'd be up there on the, you know, on the trusses, or even up there sheeting the, you know, roof in, or, you know, whatever, doing up on the wall. And we'd pin back the guards on those old Senko nail guns, you know. They've got a little, it's like a little, just a little guard on the thing. You just hold it back, and you just, guy goes in the blue room, and you just, you know, everybody starts teeing off with 16 penny framing nails, just pew, 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 just peppering the thing. Cat comes out. Oh, the good old days. We had one on a trailer where we used to take the new guy, he'd go in there and we'd take it and bungee it shut and hook it up to the truck and drive him around the job site in the trailer, you know, with that blue, nasty blue slopping all over. Thankfully, it never happened to me. But I digress. Anyway, so let's get back to what old Sloppy here has to say. And watch this guy's watch his body language. Look at his shoulders right now, okay? Look how he's slumped. Look at the look of defeat in his eyes. The shape of his face. I mean, you just see a guy that knows that he's at it. Like, this dude knows that it's done. Like, he's like, shit, I fucked up now.
Relating to a court-approved search that the FBI conducted earlier this week. That search was of premises located in Florida belonging to the former president. The department did not make any public statements on the day of the search. The former president publicly confirmed the search that evening, as is his right. Copies of both the warrant and the FBI property receipt were provided on the day of the search to the former president's counsel, who was on site during the search.
On site, but not allowed to watch what they were doing. That was what was her name? Christina Bobb, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, Christina Bobb. So she was on the scene in Mar-a-Lago, but she was only shown the warrant from like 10 feet away. She wasn't given it. They eventually got it. They do have it now. They haven't really disclosed it. And that's what would be interesting. That's what we want to see is the affidavit. Like, what was the probable cause? Why in the hell is a judge who recuses himself from a civil case involving Trump and, what's her name again? Kirby, the lady that dresses like a vacuum cleaner. Oh, yeah, Hillary Clinton. Why does he recuse himself from that? But yet that's who they go to sign off on this warrant. Why do you think they went to him? Why would they go to if they're wanting to go to somebody who's impartial, maybe you don't go to the guy that recused himself 6-7 weeks ago from a case saying that he was not going to be able to be partial, or he wouldn't be able to be, unbiased in the case. So he recuses himself from that, but yet when it comes time to search Trump's place, they give him the warrant and he signs right. I mean, I'm guessing he looked at it and he probably laughed like Stephen Colbert did. You see that onion head the other night? He's out there like talking about the Christmas present. He's clapping like a fucking deranged circus monkey. That guy's terrible. I mean, he used to be funny. He's not funny anymore. He is such a smarmy. Just, he's irritating as hell. He's right up there with Jimmy Kimmel. That dude he's smarmy and just they grandstand. I mean, Colbert was funny. I mean, I used to like him. He used to be funny to watch, but anymore he's just, he's right up there. Him and Keith Olbermann ought to, I don't know, hang out. I'm sure they probably do hang out. They probably kick it live, and go out and drink wheatgrass juice or whatever. Who knows? Who knows what they do? I don't even want to know, to tell you the truth. It's probably not anything that allegedly that I'd want to even have any knowledge of. Anyway, back to Mr. Garland here. Let's go. Let's keep going with him.
The search warrant was authorized by a federal court upon the required finding of probable cause. The property receipt is a document that federal law requires law enforcement agents to leave with the property owner. The department filed the motion to make public the warrant and receipt in light of the former president's public confirmation of the search, the surrounding circumstances, and the substantial public interest in this matter.
Oh, you think?
Faithful adherence to the rule of law is the bedrock principle of the Justice Department and of our democracy. Upholding the rule of law means applying the law evenly, without fear or favor. Under my watch, that is precisely what the Justice Department is doing. All Americans are entitled to the even-handed application of the law, to due process of the law, and to the presumption of innocence. Much of our work is by necessity conducted out of the public eye. We do that to protect the constitutional rights of all Americans and to protect the integrity of our investigations. Federal.
Let's talk about that. Protecting the constitutional rights. Okay. So here's where we get into the Fourth Amendment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you know the Fourth Amendment? Are you aware of this? It's everybody knows the second, right? Everybody knows the first. Everybody knows the fifth. Everybody knows the second. Do we know the fourth? Do you know the sixth? Do you know the seventh? Do you know the 10th? Do you know the 25th? The 25th might be coming in here soon. The Fourth Amendment is your right to be protected from illegal search and seizure. And this not only talks about your person and your property, but we're talking about you need needing to be secure in your with documents as well. Okay, so here we have the former president of the United States. Okay, now he's got some boxes with documents. Okay, now what they're saying, what they said yesterday, and what was laughable to me is they said that they're looking at going after him for the Espionage Act, that Trump was going to sell the nuclear codes to people on his email list or something. I mean, how stupid is that? Everybody knows that that ain't the fucking case. I mean, the one thing you can say about Trump is the dude is an American, and he loves this country and he cares about this country. He's not gonna. Why would he even do anything like that? We wouldn't even be in this situation right now if he was still in office. I mean, the whole Afghanistan debacle wouldn't have happened. Okay, this whole shit with Ukraine, wouldn't have happened. Putin would have never gone into Ukraine, or Trump still in office. We wouldn't be having this issue with Taiwan and China. The dollar the inflation wouldn't be what it is. I mean, you know, that idiot comes out and says, I have one number to say, 0. Saying that there was no inflation in July. Bullshit. Anybody out there, any of y'all out there that had to go to the grocery store, gas station, anything. Okay, great. Fuel went down, what? For me, with diesel fuel, I went from $6 a gallon to now I think I'm at $5.30. And I'm supposed to jump around and clap and be happy and say, well, Joe Biden just really did a great job. When it was costing me, I mean, I put 60 in the truck the other day. I have a little over a quarter tank. That's it. I mean, it cost me over $200 now to fill up my gas tank. Everybody wants to complain. Oh, it's $100. It's like, well, fucking welcome to my fucking world. You know, I mean, plus up here in Wyoming, I mean, we have. It's not like California prices. But people don't make the money up here that people do in California. And everybody in California is used to being taxed to shit anyways, because that's what they do. Even if Gavin Newsom gets on there and makes stupid commercials trying to entice people from Florida to go out there. I'll bet you see a lot of California licenses in Florida, but I bet you don't see many Florida licenses in California. I mean, like I said, if I had to move anywhere in this country, it would either be going back up to Alaska or going down to America's Wang, Florida, you know? And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, especially with DeSantis, because I think DeSantis has a lot of momentum. He's, according to what polls they have, he's, polling higher than Trump. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen with Trump. I think everybody's assuming now that this happened, that he's going to run, that they probably just poked the bear. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I mean, my idea is that he's going to be playing kingmaker. And I think he might just step out. I mean, the dude's pushing 80, I think he's probably had enough. I think he's probably getting sick of this shit. But he's also he's a cantankerous motherfucker, So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws his weight behind DeSantis, and then he, because look at everything he's doing right now. I mean, he's still going and speaking, and places they're packed. People can't get in, How many people show up for Joe Biden? I mean, he's out there riding his stupid bicycle again yesterday, And they tried to stop and talk to him. Can we talk to you? I have to go get a swimming suit. What are you going to do? Go get in the swimming pool with your hairy legs so little kids can go down there and go grab your fucking hairy legs, or go take a shower with your niece or whatever you're doing, you fucking creep. Nobody says nothing about that, though, The diary about he's taking showers with an 11-year-old girl. No, dude. No, that shit don't fly. Got a kid that wanders around naked with a loaded gun that he got illegally, and he's all cracked out and methy and weird and cracky. These are some bad people. These are not good people, ladies and gentlemen. These are not the people that you think they are, and just because you didn't want the orange man, you went and you did the lesser of two evils. Allegedly. I don't even know. Nobody's even really going to know. they're going to do whatever. But, I mean, here's the thing, though, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not on either side of the fence here. I mean, I don't like what's going on at all. I don't think any of you do. I don't think anybody I know likes what's going on right now. I mean, I just got back from Walmart a little while ago. I mean, I got a pack of chicken thighs to throw in the smoker, and I mean, it was something I was paying like, $4, $5 for maybe last year or something, and it's like $13 today. And there's not even much chicken on the shelf. It's like there's not much of a choice. It's like you can get this, or you can get, that's it. I go to get my grapefruit juice. There's like 2 jugs of grapefruit juice. That's it. Usually, I mean, grab them both. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, of course, it was busy as hell. I don't know why it was so busy out there today. I mean, there hasn't been anybody in this town pretty much all summer. It's been kind of dead. And I went in there to Wally World this afternoon thinking, it's a Monday. I pull in, and I was like, holy Jesus Christ. Fucking apple dumpling gangs in town. Who knows? There must be something going on. It could be that I think it's Sturgis time, so I saw a lot of trailers with motorcycles and stuff, which is kind of lame. Dude, if you're going to Sturgis, part of the deal is being on the bike. Don't trailer your bike. Ride the damn thing. I mean, I can understand if you're an old dude and you're like crippled up, cobbed up, and I can understand that. But come on, I saw a lot of young people out there with bikes today on the trailers. It's like, ride your bike. That's what it's for. Get on the thing. I mean, if I had a Harley, I'd be riding it out there. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Doesn't mean shit. I guess you want to trailer it out there, that mess, and I don't know. I've never been to Sturgis. A lot of people love the shit. I look at it and go, I don't know. It looks kind of, I don't know. I just remember watching that one. What was that show? The one that was on the True TV. About that, was it the Iron? Was it the Iron Horse? It was some saloon out there. The guy that sings in Jackal. You know what I'm talking about. They had that TV show. Place burned down. It just looked like a scummy little. I mean, you could get fucking 17 kinds of clap out there. Welcome to your penicillin prescription. Have fun with that. I don't know. Just saying. Anyhow. Oh, and the other one, too, they went and got Scott Perry, and they took his phone. The FBI did that. So, the FBI, it's time for them to be done. We don't need to be funding this shit anymore. All these intelligence agencies, it's become so corrupt and so sideways. I mean, when they're going to the former president of this country, when they're showing up at his house with this warrant, and they go in there and they're raiding his wife's closet. He's not there. The attorneys aren't allowed to watch what's going on. He's demanded a bunch of the boxes of material back. He's already been candid with them. He's discussed this. Barack Obama has 30 million pages of information that he took from his presidency. Does anybody say anything to him about it? No. Not at all. What do you think that Joe Biden's got going on? I mean, what do you think he's got behind the curtain? I think that's a whole deal that's going to come out a number of years later, and it's not going to be good. I mean, the poor guy that owned that computer shop where Hunter left his computer, that guy had to leave. He had to drop he had to leave. He was getting death threats because he sat on that computer, and there's a certain time frame, and then he looked on it and he saw, he had to get on there and he saw it was on the thing. I mean, that dude was filming everything he did. He was filming himself paying prostitutes, wandering around naked, slinging a gun, smoking crack, doing all this shit. Why does he have the need to do that? I mean, you're dumb. I mean, if that's why I say, if you're going to be good, be good at it. He wasn't very good at it, but it doesn't matter because he knows that regardless of what he does, he's got a get out of jail free card. He's Hunty Biden, and his daddy's going to get him out or into whatever the fuck it is that he wants or needs. The Secret Service said they didn't show up when that gun got taken by Haley up to, by that grocery store, next to a grocery store and across the street from a high school. And she throws that firearm in there. And apparently the trash can was full. And so it's just sitting right on top. And he wants to talk about gun control and common sense gun laws and shit like that, which, hey, I'm of course pro 2A, even though I can never have another firearm. But I also think that there should be something in place where a guy like that Salvatore Ramos in Texas doesn't get a firearm, where that Bobby Cremo doesn't get to go buy firearms. But that was because of his dad. Illinois had everything in place where you had to get basically a sponsorship, and his old man signed off on it and then said, immediately claimed he had no culpability in any of it when the police had shown up and confiscated 16 knives and a sword or whatever the fuck, and then they showed up again, and there was red flags all over these kids. Same with the kid from New York. All of them. I definitely agree that there should be something when you've got that Salvatore Ramos, he was arrested at 14 years old with another kid because they were saying that when they graduated, they were going to have a mass casualty event. So if something like that happens, and then he buys an AR from the same gun shop within 3 days, and all that ammo, you could put a flag on somebody without making it public record. You can put a flag on somebody and have it when they do a background check on it. You type the name in, they don't even have to get back to the gun shop and say, this is what he did. But they can say, no, this dude ain't getting no fucking guns. Look at the date. That should have been on record with that Ramos kid from Uvalde, right? 14 years. He gets arrested, and he's saying that when he graduates, this is his graduation year, and he didn't graduate. He's dead, along with 21 other people, 19 kids and 2 school teachers, because due diligence wasn't fucking done. It wasn't done. How do you take? I don't get it. It's beyond me. You arrest a kid at 14, he's saying when he graduates that's what he's going to do, and then the kid, when he's 18 years old, he goes in the gun shop and he buys. The system failed. The system failed the people of Uvalde, straight up. Not only the system with as far as buying weapons, but the system as far as the law enforcement. That whole thing is a fiasco. It's almost as big a fiasco as what happened in Vegas in, 2017? That shit, no one even wants to talk about that. No, it just went away. Anybody who's been to Vegas, you and I both know that there's fucking cameras on everything, and it took them a year for them to have that footage surface and show, what was his name, Stephen Paddock, going up and down the service elevator with all these cases. Now, what was this guy doing? This guy's a retiree. He's a gambler. He's a drunk. And he's going up there, and I don't think anybody's ever going to find out the truth. And then you have the mysterious deaths of the people that, there was a number of people that said that, hey, listen, there was more than one gun going off. And I've been in that area. I've been on those grounds. I could understand how there could be an echo and maybe it could sound like 2 firearms. I don't know. I wasn't there, and it's hard. I can't say, but it was just kind of weird that most of the people that were on TV saying that there was, more than one gun, they ended up mysteriously dead. One guy was a biker. He ended up, getting ran over. There was another gal that, mysteriously, there's a number of them that just wound up just dead. And just coincidentally, each of them had the same thing to say about multiple guns. But I digress again. Anyway, it's just funny that we got this guy that's just the guy. He's the guy that can't stand on a stationary bike. He falls upstairs. He can't speak. He mutters and mumbles and yells shit like, get off my lawn, basically. Yells shit like, my butt's been wiped. I mean, you see him trying to put his coat on the other day. We showed that. I mean, the guy can't even put his jacket on. And then the crazy thing with that video, too, I might pull that up. I'm done listening to Merrick Garland. I've had enough of this guy. He's a tool bag. But the funny thing with Biden was not only just watching him put the coat on, but if you looked at his shoes were what cracked me up. And I'll see if I can find it. There we go. Of course, I just put in Biden, and it goes Biden jacket video, bike accident, falls, ice cream. Says he had something to say today. I didn't see that yet. But if you watch it, okay, you got to look at his shoes here when I pull this up, okay? Because this is what's going to happen. Oh, this is a damn cell phone video. I don't want to watch that one. We got to get a good one. Let's see. Oh, God. Twitter and splits over Biden's hilarious definition of America. It just doesn't.
He began to walk away, but was unfortunately met with a new.
So here we go. We'll pull this up. Let me get some volume. My butt's been wiped. All right. There, we got the full screen. And we'll get you back to the start. Here we go. Look at his shoes. He's got his pants tucked into his shoes. What is he wearing? What is he wearing? Look at those boots he's got. His glasses are about to fall on the ground. Look at these two servicemen behind him. The kid on the left looks like he's like looking at him out the corner of his eye, just like this fucking clown. He's wearing a stupid fucking mask. Oh God! Oh, there they go. Not the. Look at his feet.
That was Joe Biden there, seemingly struggling to put on his jacket. The president was departing the.
I mean, come on. You got to be shitting me. I mean, Jesus Christ. That's the guy. That's the leader of the free world right there. The dude's got his pants tucked into his... What kind of boots is he wearing? He looks like he's wearing Boy Scout boots. He looks like he's wearing something I'd be wearing. I don't even wear boots like that. I mean, I wear boots every day, but no. Jesus Christ. With the pant legs tucked into them? What, did he just put them on before he got off the helicopter? How much does that helicopter ride cost every time? And his oh God, his wife that pretty much she runs it. She runs the show. Jesus Christ, she's just embarrassed. But she's embarrassing too. They're all embarrassing. Kamala Harris is embarrassing. He's embarrassing. Pelosi's embarrassing. And we're flying them all over the world. We're paying. It's on our dime. We're just like, well, we don't got nothing to do. What are we going to do? I mean, when's it going to be enough? When's enough? When's it get to the point where it's enough? That's my question. Like, when is it just like, we're done with this? Like, that's a crazy thing. Is it, we are industrious people. We persevere. We're people that, we used to be truthful and courageous and have morals and ethics. And now we argue over bathrooms and pronouns and whether men can have babies and menstruate. What? No, I'm sorry. Men can't have babies. You cannot take biology and change it. I don't give a fuck what you say. Do you want to identify as something? Identify. That's fine. Whatever. You want to be. If you don't feel like you're a man, you want to be a woman. And I don't care. It doesn't bother me a bit. If you're happy and you're doing, that's no big deal. But you can't sit there and just, make these things the issues that are going to cause all this, I mean, gay, straight, trans, polyamorous, whatever the fuck else. Who cares? I don't. It doesn't affect me. But what does affect us all is the fact that we're sitting here and we're dividing ourselves over these stupid pronouns, and they don't make sense. And then you got people that they're woke. No, that's not even grammatically correct. So that just shows how stupid people are. I mean, I'm sorry. I used to tell the people that worked under me way back in 99, 2000, I said, listen, 98% of the population are morons, all right? So you got to watch them every step of the way. I'm like, this is working up on a ski hill. I'm like, this is dangerous stuff here with these chairlifts and everything, and this, working this alpine slide. I mean, you're basically in a concrete bobsled track, and you're giving these sleds to these people that don't even know how to, change a tire. They've never been at speed. There was a lot of bad things that happened there. I mean, I saw some of the dumbest shit in my life up there, with just dumbass people coming up from Portland, and they're just like, oh, good, here we go with the Griswolds, and that's what most of the people in this country are, is fucking dumbass Griswolds. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, it's but people aren't going to wise up. They're not going to wake up. I mean, shit like what's going on right now, I can't even imagine that flying during my grandfather's, generation. I mean, if he was here right now, I don't even know what he'd be saying. He'd probably be sitting back and laughing like I am. I mean, it's funny. It's not funny. It's like, I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, we're all gonna fucking die. I mean, that's what we all got coming, I mean, it don't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Really, in the whole grand scheme, it doesn't matter. I mean, we either survive as a species or we don't. I mean, one way or another, the second law of thermodynamics, it seems like, is probably something that's legit. I mean, entropy, everything's breaking down. And that's what I see on a day-to-day basis. It's like, it's breaking down. It's like, what's next? Every day it's something new, and the media can't stand not having Trump in the middle of stuff, because this idiot, this Biden that y'all voted for, I mean, he isn't cutting it, so you got to have some kind of drama. So why not go pick on Trump some more? I mean, you already gave him 6 years of bullshit up to now anyways. Why not give him some more? I'm not saying the guy's a great dude. I don't know him, I mean, what I do know is that even though he seems to be kind of a megalomaniac and perhaps a narcissistic type of dude, one way or another, I think he cares about the people. I don't think Biden gives a damn. I mean, this is the guy that said he didn't want his kids to grow up in a racial jungle. This is the guy that told Charlemagne the God, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I mean, this is a guy that kept the company of people like Robert Byrd and Strom Thurmond. He lied about, saying he got arrested, and then he marched, they got arrested with Nelson Mandela and MLK, and this is a guy that plagiarized a speech from, I can't remember the name of the British politician. I'm sorry, I can't remember everything. I usually have a pretty good memory on this shit, but, I mean, it was word for word. He lied about his shit in school. He's lied about everything. I mean, just non-stop. I mean, the guy's been an ineffectual member of, of government for 50 years. And the only thing that he can hang his hat on is the 94 crime bill that incarcerated countless black men for victimless drug crimes. And he's got a crackhead son who hasn't done a day. There's video of him weighing out 21 grams of crack. That's quite a bit of crack. Nothing. Nothing, no big deal. It's Hunter Biden. Who gives a shit? It's fine. It's just, he's just, that's what he does. Wanders around naked with his gun and Russian hookers and, flies them over here. There's got to be some kind of a, is that not, is not some kind of a, is there not some kind of a law on that you can't fly hookers internationally into the United States and then pay them on video? And I don't know. Interesting. And not to mention the number of bank issues that dude's had. 100 and some of them. Suspicious activity reports. What did I say it was the other day? 105 of them? Most people, 99.9% of the people in this country don't ever have one suspicious activity report with their bank. He's had over 100. Between him and his Uncle James, Joe's brother. Come on, people. And we're just going to sit here and just be like, well, we just got to wait till midterm elections and then we'll vote the Republicans back in and then they won't do shit. And then 2024, you're going to get the same thing. Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. You're going to get the same shit. That's where we're at. For some reason, everybody thinks that they need to have some kind of... everybody thinks we need this. Why do you need this? Do you need this in your daily life? What have they done for you? They're not going to do anything for you now. You're going to have 87,000 more IRS agents out there. Now, who looks at the IRS in a good light? Who gets a letter from the IRS and goes, oh, goody, oh, look. The IRS just called. Yeah, no, you don't. Do you? If you do, I'd like to know. Because I don't know anybody that thinks that that's an organization that is... would anybody out there... would anybody out there argue with me if I say that, we'd be better off without it? Is there anybody out there that would not have a better time without the IRS? Is there anybody out there that has had a good time because of the IRS? Any of you out there? Had great experiences with the IRS? Do you like giving them that money? Do you like seeing your paycheck every 2 weeks, week, month, however you get paid? Do you like seeing that? When you get your check and you see, or if you work overtime, that's a good one. That was a good lesson to learn too when I was a young man. Work like a fucking 80-hour week and I get my check and it's like the same amount as I had I worked 40 because they taxed me so hard on that, on the overtime. It was like, why? Why put in the extra time? Why do it? I don't know. If you can tell me that the IRS is just a great agency and you just have really had a fun time with them in your entire life and that you just are happy that they're there, I'd like to hear from you because I'm going to call bullshit on that straight up. So we just allowed them to sign a deal that's going to put 87,000 more of them out there. And get on the IRS.gov and read the description of those jobs. I don't know. I sit here and wonder how they're going to fill that position with, they can't hire, people can't find employees. The accounting students that are involved in the biggest colleges, I read a study on it. Like I said, it's down anywhere from 38 to almost 50% for, college students, graduating with accounting degrees. So I don't know. They might be hard pressed to find all those people, but there are nitwits out there. And listen, nitwits, if you're one of them that thinks that you want to go be an IRS agent, I would advise you to maybe reconsider that. Unless you want to just go out and do damage to your fellow man, to your fellow citizens, to your brothers, sisters, family. I wouldn't want to be involved in that agency. And I've seen a lot of cats that were, and they got out of it because they realized how fucked up it was, and they decided, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with this. But everybody's got their own choice to make, and that's what it comes down to. The choice is yours. Do you participate or not? At this point in my life, I'm just not participating in it anymore. I'll pay attention to it because it obviously is, the politics and everything. everybody always asks me why. Well, why do you get so? It's like, well, because this is what's going on. I mean, this is what shapes everything. This is what dictates the climate and what's going on here. And it's interesting. For one thing, I mean, the human condition is really a fucked up mess. But I don't know. Like I always said, I mean, like I've been saying, is that if, like I said, I like speaking in hypotheticals. But if everybody in this country were to get on board with just not even voting, how hilarious would that be? It would be absolutely fucking hilarious if nobody voted. I mean, they would sure they would put somebody in there, but then we'd all be on the same team, right? Like if we all just said, "Nah, we're not playing. We're not doing this anymore. Fuck you. Fuck your ballots. Fuck your fucking bullshit. We're just not even no. If employers just decided that, guess what? We're not taking out taxes from our employees anymore. Come get us. Are they going to come get everybody? We got 338 million people in this country. So 87,000 of these stupid IRS agents is really not that much. I mean, when you think about it. I mean, but here's the thing is that people have got to get on the same page and we got to wise up. We've got to transcend this shit. You got to elevate your mind a little bit. You got to do some homework. You got to do some reading. You got to do some thinking. You have to do some introspection. You have to think about things a little bit. You have to look at like, okay, what am I doing here? What are we doing? Like, what was this? I mean, we're not here that long. Why make it miserable, right? I don't want to make your life miserable. Not at all. I want you to have a great life. I want you to have everything that you could ever want. Everything that you need, I want you to go to places you want to go, do the things you want to do, have the things that you, not only that you need, but that you want. Live in a decent home, in a decent community where you're not worried about, crime and shit. Where does crime stem from? It comes from scarcity. All the bad things that we have come from scarcity, and we live in a world of abundance. But yet, the majority of the world doesn't have what they need. Children that grow into abject poverty, disease, violence. And then you have people like fucking, these assholes that are running the show. I mean, I think it's time that they, it's time they lost their keys. It's time we took the keys back and threw them out in the ocean. Enough. I mean, it's really stupid when you look at the human condition. I mean, we argue with each other over over the magic man, the mysterious man in the sky. Oh, he's looking down. People die. We say they're looking down upon them. Come on. He's in a better place. It's silly. We were here for a short time. We're here, like that. I just always go back to, that's what I like going out and getting all these fossils and stuff. I mean, you know how old that probably is? Pretty old. That's a little gastrolith from a dinosaur. I mean, we're talking, according to science, anywhere from 50 to 200 million years ago. I don't know. I can't verify that. I can't verify 100 years ago. I wasn't here. I can't verify 1,000 years ago. The only reason we can verify anything is because of what we've gotten from our ancestors. And we read books that are 2,000 years old that were written by people that didn't understand lightning, that wrote in red lettering, but they didn't write in red, but somebody along the way decided to write, like in the Bible. The red, that's when God was talking. Huh? How many of you out there have talked to God? Let me know. Maybe you've done enough drugs or something, but I don't know. Maybe you think that's the thing. Or there certainly are forces out there that are larger than us, that's for sure. I don't doubt that. But, come on. I don't know. It's just funny. You got the people on one side that say the Earth is 5,000 years old. You got people on the other side that says 5 billion years old. It's like, how do you know about billions? How can you even, come on, you can't even comprehend. The only billions we know is money. And we don't even know about that. That doesn't even exist. It's just an upstroke of a keyboard, and it goes to some fucking place, and we end up taking it out at fucking interest rates from fucking banks. Because we're stupid. And then we spend our whole lives just fucking working at a shitty cheese job, punching a clock, 8 and skate, 40 a week, 2 weeks of vacation. You get your fucking shitty ass fucking insurance. You know, get bent over every time you go to the doctor or whatever. Well, you get insurance, but, you know, you didn't reach your deductible. You know, I mean, you know, you got a $3,000 or $5,000 deductible. That's a big chunk of change for people. You know, especially right now at this point in time. I mean, it's just dumb. It's dumb. Everybody should have medical care. If we can spend $60 billion to send fucking, you know, bullshit, you know, weapons over to fucking Ukraine, where 84% of this country didn't even know existed. They didn't even know where it was at when this whole thing started. 84% of the people in this country that were polled didn't know where Ukraine was at. But yet you put their flag on your Facebook thing, and you put their flag, you know, put one up in front of your front. I've seen people with them in the front yard, stickers on their car. It's like, you don't even know where it's at. You didn't even know. And no, you know, you don't know anything about the corruption over there. You know, I mean, nobody knows anything about that. I mean, the only reason I do is because I was locked up with one of the fucking, the ex-prime minister that was one of the most corrupt motherfuckers that fled from there with, you know, $227 million or whatever, and found his ass locked up in fucking federal prison here. I mean, that was the first time I ever heard anything about Ukraine or looked into it, you know. And when I got back home, I you know, did some research on the place. I mean, it's corrupt, but this country is too. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at this guy. Look, I mean, insider trading, people, you know, you've got different rules for different people, different classes of people. You know, Paul Pelosi can go out and smash up a fucking car high and drunk and whatever, or do insider trading and make millions of dollars, and his wife can gallivant all over the fucking world with her fucking kid that's involved in 5 corporations that are under investigation. And they just happen to show up on their little trip to Asia in all those places, and he just kind of happens to like disappear here from time to time on their little trip. Why'd she go to Taiwan? How? I mean, you know, how far invested is that family in the superconductors for the computers, and where do they come from? They come from Taiwan. Kind of weird. How much of that money from this new bill is going towards R&D in this country? For that same thing. It seems like we're preparing for a war with China. However, with that whole deal going on over there with the Russians occupying that nuclear power plant that's got 6 reactors, and it's been getting shelled. China's like, that's too close to home. I think we need to, like, you know, I think it's put us back to the drawing board a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it's not fixing it. I don't think that they're by a damn sight not thinking that they're going to go back and take Taiwan back. But Taiwan's already China anyways. I mean, the whole world has coincided with the One China agreement, so that makes Taiwan China. I mean, and these idiots sit there and democracy. I'm so sick of hearing that word. That's so stupid. It's so stupid. Look at the idiots out there. If 98% of the population are morons, then why do we need democracy? I'm not saying we need a monarchy or a dictatorship or anything like that. That's why I'm an anarchist. And not like one that goes out and lights other people's shit on fire. An anarchist, a true anarchist, believes in the ideology of doing no harm. Do not harm another person or their property. Do no harm, right? Help others. It's been given such a dysphomistic connotation. You know, we call these fucking terrorists, we call them anarchists, people that are burning down cities and looting places and killing people. We call them, that's not anarchy. That is terrorism, okay? There's a difference. And I'd encourage everybody out there to educate yourself on the difference, okay? I mean, I call myself an anarchist. But I'm not going to go out and light your shit on fire. I'm not going to steal from you. I'm not going to cause you any harm. I will defend myself if I have to. I don't want to have to be that. I don't want to have to be violent ever. But guess what? I'm not going to let anybody harm my person or my property without putting up a fight over it. But I'm not going to go out and just light shit on fire and go out and, throw shit at cops and, carry on like a fucking idiot. These people are not anarchists. So I'm sick and tired of seeing that. I'm sick and tired of hearing people say that that's what anarchy is, because it's not. That's not even anything to do with it. Anarchy is basically the idea that we all know what to do. We do. We all know what to do. I mean, all you guys out there I know that work out in the oil patch, you guys know how to go out there and drill, right? The owners of the companies you work for, they know how to do what they got to do. They don't need the government, but yet the government says, no, you're not going to do it anymore, and then you just break, and then, your companies break weak and just kowtow to them, I mean, if we just did what we needed to do and just did that to the government, we'd be in a lot better place. We would be. We'd get along better. We would all be happier, I mean, there's no reason why, I build furniture, all right? You need a table, you need this, that, you need a cabinet, you need something like that, okay. And say you make clothes, or you do something, whatever. Raise chickens, I need chicken eggs, Here's a table for you, this is worth this many eggs. You got chickens laying eggs, I mean, we have abundance. We do. We live in a world of abundance. There's plenty for everybody, and there's no reason why, 1% should have everything. I mean, I'm not talking about socialism, communism, nothing like that. I'm just saying that there's no reason why, through being compassionate towards one another and understanding that we're all in the same ride. We're all in the same ride. We pay these actors, and when they talk, they get some kind of special fucking treatment. They're paid to lie. Actors, people in Hollywood, they're paid to lie. They're liars. They go out and they act like somebody they're not, and then they make a bunch of money from it, and then all of a sudden they think they can grandstand, and that they've got some kind of a voice that means something. Well, guess what? It doesn't mean shit. Not to me, it doesn't. I don't give a fuck about these people. They're liars. Movie actors are fucking liars. They go out there and they lie. And so that leads you to ask the question. If we sit here and we got to sit there and immerse ourselves in movies and TV shows and shit like this that are just completely outlandish, but somehow we release ourselves in this fantasy of what's going on the screen, what's that say about our lives? You got to ask yourself that question too. I mean, if your life isn't good enough to just live and enjoy without having to sit there and watch some goofball go out there and kill a bunch of people on a movie or a TV show, you gotta ask yourself these things. I haven't watched a movie or a TV show, and I watch clips from Family Guy and stuff. Like if I'm taking a break or whatever, I'll put that on because that shit cracks me the fuck up. I like that show. But I don't even know what season they're on. I like watching some. I'll just put it on something and have some old clips in the background or whatever. But I mean, comedy's one thing, but comedy's an art form, like music. Music is an art form. Acting, I don't know. I guess, but it seems like it's lying to me. At least comedy, comedians are real. I mean, that takes some. I can't even imagine the balls it takes to get up there and I mean, do this if you're curious. Sit down and see if you can write down 5 minutes of stand-up and actually be able to pull it off. It's got to seem like an eternity. And some of these people get up there and go out and bust out an hour, do an hour every year and a half. Guys like Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, look at George Carlin. Oh my God, fucking Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. I mean, fucking Kevin Hart. You know, I mean, Bernie Mac. I mean, some of these cats were just, off the chain. Off the fucking chain. Hilarious. And to be able to do that, that's an art form. You know what I mean? But these Hollywood liars, that's all they do. And then they go and they're like, oh, they're such a great serious actor. They, you know, like Daniel Day-Lewis. He just, once he's doing a movie, he's just, that's who he is. You have to call him by whatever name, you know. Come on, dude. You gotta be kidding me. You're taking yourself way over the top on that shit. You're a liar. You're just acting like somebody you aren't. For what? So we can go and numb ourselves from our daily lives that are so shitty, so we can go watch something and you know, just sit there and fantasize about what it would be like to be that person. Or, you know, you get wound up. You see Bruce Willis is out there on Die Hard killing people and saying yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, and you get off on that. You know, I mean, it's really kind of silly. And really, it's a commentary on our lives, if that's what it takes for us to have enjoyment. I mean, if life was so good, why would we go and spend however much money to go sit in a goddamn theater with a bunch of other nitwits and eat shitty old popcorn? And it's, you know, $8 for a tub or whatever. Who knows what it is now? I haven't been to a movie in so long, I don't even care. Anyway, there's just a lot of things out there, folks, that I think we need to walk away from. We need to start living our lives like we're meant to live our lives. You know, we have a lot of technology right now in this world. We've got, I mean, it's, you know, and we should use that as a decent thing. Everybody's worried about automation. I'm not. I mean, if everything's on, I mean, if we got technology doing things for us and we can live our lives, but it's all about that money, right? It's that M-O-N-E-Y, right? Oh, we gotta make a living, gotta have a job. Why do you gotta have a job? Who likes their job? Raise your hands. Anybody? You like your job? I like to do what I'm passionate about doing. I like to build stuff. I like to make furniture. I like to, you know, to be industrious. I like to play music. I like to do this podcast. I like to write. You know, I like to draw. I like to do tattoos. But that's not, to me, that's not work. It's not a job. It's just, those are things I do and things I enjoy doing. And that's what I've decided to do in life, is just pursue the things that I enjoy and that give me reward and benefit and you know, make this this time on this rock, you know, more enjoyable. We should all be enjoying ourselves. That's what I'm saying, you know. So you got to ask yourself, if you're miserable, if you're, you know, if you're stressed all the time, if you're going through, you know, bullshit, which we all are. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it, you know. I'm in the same boat. I get stressed out and fucking worked up about shit. But, you know, there's a better way to go than what we've been doing. And the fact of the matter is we've given the keys over to a select group of people, and we've just let them take off with it. And so what are we going to do? I mean, like I said, you know, talking about a little kid that's out of hand and you're done with them, you just ignore them. And they might throw a fit and act all ridiculous and crazy for a little bit, but then they're going to fall in line. And I mean, I think that's what we need to do with this whole system. Just say, you know what? Go ahead, have your tantrum, stomp around, do whatever. We don't care. We're not paying attention to you. We're not putting you on the TV anymore. We're not watching TV anymore. You know? I mean, sure, I use technology all the time. But you know what I use it for is information, because I feel like, I mean, I grew up in an era where it was Encyclopedia Britannica, right? Like, that's where your information came from, the library. Like, you had to go do some really deep diving. Now, I can pick up that stupid iPhone. I mean, I can look up anything. I mean, I use that thing I don't really use it for you know, I don't play games. I don't play video games. I don't watch TikTok, you know. I do this. But there's a reason for it, and it's a way to communicate with people. Not very many, because I think I've got 3.2 listeners. But for all 3.2 out there, I love you guys. On that note, I'm gonna get out of here. But I don't know. I'm gonna do some more homework, find out what's going on with this Romanian thing. I feel kind of like sometimes I'm a hypocrite with it, because I keep up on it and I just want to walk away from it. But then I feel like the reason I keep up on it is to relay how stupid it is to all you out there. And that maybe there's going to come a day where we all understand how stupid it is, and we all just get together and say, you know what? let's all go out and have a party. Let's all go to the lake. Let's all, let's go enjoy this life instead of sit here worried about this money and all this shit. We've got the resources, we've got the abundance. It's all out there for us to take and use and better our lives with. And there's no reason that anybody should be homeless. There's no reason anybody should be impoverished. There's no reason that we should have horrible neighborhoods, gangs, violence, deaths, murders. None of it. We shouldn't have to live like that. People should not have to live in those type of environments. And we can change it. But you know what? It's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to all of us. We all got to get on the same train here, and realize that we're not so different. That the color of your skin doesn't make you any different from anybody else, even though that seems to be the perception. But the reason that that's perceived that way is because that's what the powers that be want, because it keeps us all divided and at each other's throats. And all the rest of this nonsense, the identity politics and all of it, it's just then being offended about everything. Laugh at yourself. Just laugh at yourself. I laugh at myself all the time. I'm ridiculous. Come on. You can make fun of me. I don't care. It's not gonna. I make fun of me. I'm not afraid to be embarrassed. I'm not afraid to embarrass myself. I'm not afraid to fall down in the dirt and flop around and get my ass back up and keep going. Do the same. We all have that portion of us that's just comical. I think that's why the Greeks had the tragedies and the comedies, because that's what life is. It's funny, but it's also tragic. And maybe if we tried to focus more on the comedy and less on the tragedy, it'd be a better place. So, on that note, from 52 miles east of Yellowstone Park, you've been tuned into the Mike Files. I'm your host, Mike File. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Monday. I'm going to go ride my dirt bike and go find some fossils. And so, with the rest of your evening, be good or be good at it, and all things be kind and do no harm. Peace out.